Well, first of all, I want to talk about something non-basketball on the court tonight related. I want to thank all of you guys who sent texts and prayers for Devin and his surgery. Just to give you a little follow up, I know I released a statement about it, but everything went well. Doc felt like everything was exactly what he thought when he got in there, and we expect a full recovery from him. And so keep praying for him. It's very frustrating for him when you look at a guy who, I don't know that I've been around another guy who is as passionate about getting into the gym and working out as he is. And so continue with the prayers for him. And I appreciate all that you guys have done with that. Um, as far as the game, obviously the game I think speaks for itself. What's a little frustrating is, we turned the ball over 20 times, which is really not characteristic of us. I know we've had a few issues this year of turning the ball over, but that it wasn't a good night in that area. Also, I thought two things that really, beat us tonight was we gave up 14 offensive rebounds. When you look at it, typically if you pick up a stat sheet, we typically have more shot attempts than the other teams because we force guys into turnovers and because of our ability offensive rebounds. They got 15 more shots than we did. We got They got 60, we got 45 because of the turnovers and also because of the offensive rebounds. And not only turnovers are bad by themselves, but the issue with it was we turned them over for touchdowns and they were able to score and not have to play against a set defense. I thought our effort was there. Our guys are playing hard. It was one of those games that it's going to be hard to beat a good team. I don't care where you play them at with that many turnovers and offensive rebounds, and a lot of that with the rebounds, it came in the second half. I thought in the first half we turned it over. I think we had 13 turnovers in the first half and then 7 in the second. And so it just wasn't good enough. We got to get better in that area. We got to value the basketball. I wish I could point to one or two guys and say, man, you got to get better with ball security. But when you look at it, you see 4, 4, 3, 2, 2, 3, and 2. Just not good enough for our team. So got to get better in that area. I'll take questions.
Corey Smith.
Kevin, when we talked to DJ just a second ago, he said one of the big reasons he felt that there was a lot of the turnovers was indecisiveness compared to the first time around when you guys played Syracuse. What did you see in terms of that, in terms of the indecisiveness, not being able to get the ball either inside or hit shots when they were necessary?
I think the biggest thing is we try to hit the same play every time, and instead of mixing it up. When you look at the first game, we were good. We interior bounce pass to Manny for a dunk. We would hit the guy to sprint to the corner. We would make a skip pass. We ran it when we got the ball in areas. We try to hit the same play every time. For example, Manny catches it in the short corner in the first play of the game. He skips it, and we skip it for one more. It's a good shot. But he tried the same play every time. And in the zone puts you in spots where you got to be able to make plays from the short corner in the middle. Almost in this game, you almost have to invert because what happens is that your bigs become your point guards because of the fact that they give you, if you can get it to the middle, if you can get it to the short corner. The other big thing about it is this is where we miss having a bigger guard. When you look out there, their size is a problem because we got two guys right around 6 foot at the guard spots right now, and that's a tough deal. And you have to have those guys on the floor because those are the guys who can make shots. Those are the guys who can shoot the three.
And kind of a follow-up to that, your thoughts on Thomas Allen's performance tonight, 4 of 8 from 3, 17 points overall, but it seemed like he could have taken a few more shots probably if he went for them.
He played well, and we're asking, and he needed it. He needed to see the ball go in the hole. But what I told the team is I want to get a night where Thomas is playing well, Braxton's playing well, and all of our bigs are playing well. We just haven't been consistent enough. But we've got, we're starting to get one guard playing well each game. And when I say playing well, meaning being able to shoot the basketball, but we haven't had where we've had several of those guys play along with their bigs. But it was good. It was good for him. He's been struggling. I don't know if anybody, he would say that, but he hasn't been able to see the ball go in the hole, and it happened for him tonight.
Thanks, Kevin.
James.
Hey, Kevin, I asked the guys a similar question. At halftime, you were shooting 53% from the field, but you had the 13 turnovers and were only down one. It felt like when you got shots, you were knocking them down and they were quality looks. Did you feel like frustrated at the half that maybe you should have had a lead versus be trailing?
I felt fortunate at the half with, we were down one and we had committed 13 turnovers. It could have been a lot worse because of the way, we had turned the ball over. And this is, we haven't, this is where you don't have an experienced senior guard who's really a point guard playing that position, and everybody has to handle the basketball. But that's not who we are. We have turned it over a little bit more this year than we've had in the past. That's because we don't have that leadership in that area. But at the end of the day, we have to have better ball security. I don't care who you're playing. When you turn it over 20 times, you guys have covered us for the last 3-4 years. That's what we do. We turn people over, and when you look at it, we lost the turnover battle, and that's not good for us, and that's not good for the way we play.
Appreciate it.
Brett,
Yeah, Kevin, you guys for the season are plus 83 in the first half and minus 15 in the second. Is there any recurring theme as to why that is? And what specifically was the problem and the difference tonight in the second half?
Brett, you're gonna have to say that again. You kind of went out in and out on me, so I didn't hear your question. If somebody else heard it, maybe they can give me the question.
Yeah, I said that you're plus 83 for the season in the first half, and you're minus 15 for the season in the second half. Is there any particular reason, recurring theme for that? And what specifically was the problem and the difference in the second half tonight?
So I heard the plus, and the last question I didn't hear, but I don't think it's a theme. I think once you think about this, at the end of the game, sometime when you got to make some plays and you got some younger guys out there who happen to make plays that haven't been in that situation, that could be it. I don't think that I don't have one particular thing, Brett, that I can say is the issue in that part of it. What I will say is I am glad that we're coming out playing well in the first half. What we're having to do is with this team is try to figure out how do we get consistent for 30 to 35 to 36, and then obviously add a minute or two every game where we're playing the entire game. So I didn't exactly hear your last question, but I hope I'm answering it.
It was specifically tonight. What was the difference in the second half?
I just thought we missed shots. I think the biggest difference, if you ask me, Brett, in the second half is they got to the offensive glass. I thought we were solid. When you look at it, most of the offensive rebound, I think we got our rebound in the second half, 22-12. That was a big difference right there.
Thank you.
Danny,
Yeah, this is kind of a big picture question, but you guys had some success in the first game against Syracuse versus the zone, and it gave you some troubles tonight. As a coach, how do you approach preparing your team for the zone? You see Syracuse every year with them being in your conference.
Yeah, this is a weird year, Danny, for us. Honestly, we've had a lot of success in the prior 3 years. This is the first year that we've lost against the zone, and we've played well against it. It just, this is probably the best zone. I shouldn't say probably. This is the best zone that we're going to face all year because they play it for 40 minutes and they play it year round, and that's what they are. You got to find cracks in it. If you can find cracks in it, you can make shots, you can be successful. In our situation, this is the first time that I've never really had, you think about the past, we've always had a guy like Al Freeman who's 6'3", or CJ Bryce or Devin Daniels, a bigger guard to be able to see over it and also pass over it. And we just don't really have that. You have to have a guy of size that can, number one, that can see over it, but also be able to shoot against it. And we don't have that guy on our roster. The closest guy is, Sebron. He can see over it, but that's not the strength of his game by shooting threes right now.
all right, we have our last question from Justin.
Coach, you mentioned the second half rebounds, but going into this game, you guys had 3 straight games where you were able to out-rebound your opponent. You out-rebounded Syracuse in the first half. What do you think you guys got away from that allowed Syracuse to out-rebound you guys 22-12 in the second half?
Justin, they beat us to basketballs. I mean, I'm gonna be able to sit up here and say all of the reasons why. I mean, they just went got it. They beat us to basketball. It was one time we gave up 3 offensive rebounds, and I had my biggest lineup in the game. We had Jericho at the 3, with DJ at the 4, and Manny at the 5. And during that segment, I think that during that little small segment, we gave up 3 offensive rebounds. They beat us to the basketball. We got to get better. We have to do. You're right. We've emphasized rebounding, and we've done a good job in the last few games of rebounding. They beat us to the basketball in the second half, and that's something that we've got to address.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.